Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Good
Pop.
morning. Hello.
How are we doing today? Look at all these people in the chat already. How about that?
That's nice.
It is nice. You guys are the best.
You really are.
We love y'all. Oh man, it's been a while.
It has been.
It has been. We've taken a couple of breaks,
We have.
but we didn't stop doing stuff.
Oh, goodness, no. No. And I finally get to talk about what I couldn't talk about in the last show we were doing, which was a custom I was working on for one of our viewers, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
He,
Mm-hmm.
he did a YouTube video where he unboxed it.
He did. He did. We shared it on our Facebook page.
Yes. So if you guys didn't see that, we're going to go over. I'm going to show it to you. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Good morning, Mom. We're going to talk about it because to me it is a pretty much ultimate example of something you can do with the Astro Suit kit, Spaceman kit. It is taking the kit. I made a modification to it, which is available, will be available to everybody. But I was waiting for some pictures to upload so I could add. But that's what I've been doing. I have been obviously personal life has been a little different here lately, getting used to my new groove, and just got done in the middle of all this. Got done with a kitchen remodel that I didn't know was going to be a full kitchen remodel, but
Classic.
yeah, I thought it was just going to
Morning,
be.
Mom.
Good morning. I thought it was just going to be I thought it was just going to be put some countertops in, which is a fairly straightforward job. But it wasn't just putting countertops in; it was cutting for the sink. It was lining it to an old house that had terribly uneven walls, and then there was all kinds of other little things that came up and extras to add to the project. And it turned out really nice. The guy that hired me was pretty impressed with it. So I have some more work to do for him, and I've been helping a guy here locally. Just he is having trouble getting around, so I've been helping him get all of his tractors and stuff ready for winter. I told somebody the other day, I sent them a text that said I got the first tractor running, and then I said I never thought I would text that sentence to somebody. It was
pretty off the mark for you for sure.
Yeah, it really was. But it was funny because we found out that there was a defect in the way that John Deere tractor's hydraulic system was made. So we had to between the two of us, he's a pretty sharp guy. Between the two of us, we came up with a way to fix it, and we were driving it around the other day. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I've just been helping him doing some other stuff. So that kind of took away from some things, but it didn't take away from everything. Obviously, I have obviously today we're going to talk about AR assembly required in Iowa. I think it's the weekend of the 15th November. We're going to talk about that today. I want to kind of go over everything that we're going to have at the show and to remind everybody what we have to offer. Some improvements that have been made, some things that'll be at the show that we haven't really had before. I did have some questions about one of our bigger kits, and I will have a couple of those ready to go. I will talk about that here in a few minutes. I meant to put it together last night, but last night I got really excited on a project that I'm working for AR for us, and ended up working on that till about 4 a.m. And then I fell asleep on the couch for a few hours, and then I was getting ready for the show, and I did not have time to put together the Stinger conversion kit on the Jeep.
Nice.
But I do have pictures of it, so you guys can see it, see what it comes with. There's also a piece of it that'll be available for other projects, and you'll see that too.
Nice. Good morning, James. Ash and Joe Figs is with us. Good morning. Morning, Jack.
again, thank you for everybody that got up this morning and signed on. Appreciate it. We're gonna try to. Last show we were kind of off a little bit. I think just we really weren't sure what we were doing. There's been a lot of conversations back and forth, and I think we both kind of know what we need to do and what we want to do. So, so let's talk about changes to. Let's talk about the Astro suit, right? That was going to be our big thing this year, and it has been our big thing this year.
Yep. Sent several of those out. It's an international kit now.
Yes, it is. We had one of our viewers. I don't know if he's on this morning or not, but he's modified a kit to make a General Hawk.
I've not seen Dave this morning, but he did a phenomenal job with
Daredevil Dave, Triple D. He's done a really cool. He's working on some really cool stuff, and I don't know if he's made it public yet, but it looks really good. I had kind of hoped to adjust the kit to make something like this, but he took it and ran with it. We will talk about the Deep Six conversion. This was one that everyone seemed to got a lot of suggestions that people, well, I'm just going to paint it like Deep Six. And I thought, well, it would help if it actually, the chest kind of looked like that. So if you guys have not seen this, this is what the Deep Six version looks like. Obviously, you're not going to want that bearded head, but you would get a normal head. The head that you would get would be, we were getting a lot of mileage out of the Action Assault head for these projects. So you would just get an Action Assault head without the mustache, with the frogman look. That is this head. This is the head you would get. This one doesn't have a mustache, but that's what you would get. And so back to this other. There we go.
Good. Awesome.
So the Deep Six chest armor looks like this, and it has a different backpack. His backpack has 2 tanks on it. So that is so that kit will be available. It is basically.
So Tony.
Going to be Tony. That is going to be available, and it'll be the same price as the other kit. It's the full kit. It is going to be the full kit. So this one,
the full kit with a different chest and a different backpack.
Yeah, and it does not use the shoulder pads. And the reason for that is, I'm going to zoom in here. The Destro shoulder has this on it, which is very similar to the design that's on Deep Six's suit. So I thought this would be a good. Thank you. This would be a really good way to kind of show off some of the aesthetics of the Destro body, right? So that's what you get here.
But you still run the cords through the armor and everything like that.
That'll run. I don't think you can see it on the. No, I don't have them run. No, everything still runs just the way. You still got the holes here. Everything still runs right in. The shoulder pads don't have anything to do with how those run. In fact, it's pretty nice and tight when you do run them. I don't have updated images here. You'll still get the rifle and the pistols and all that. You'll still get all the pieces. So you could just use this and turn Deep Six into some kind of badass. So yeah, that's that. So that is the first major addition to the line for the Astro suit. The other is we do have a new head, which I'll show that here in a little bit. But I want to show off this. I don't know if you guys saw this online or not. So we will do this. There we go.
There it is.
Yes. So this is an Astro suit. A couple of changes I made is I used Barbecue's hands to block him out a little better. The tabard is just this is just a ribbon, piece of ribbon that you buy at fabric stores. My favorite part of this, I am going to show the back of it because it did turn out pretty cool. So there we go. So I gave him two guns. I did not take advantage of the light features because I really wanted to focus on it looking like a Red Shadow's kit. Did get of course permission to do this, but so the head, I gotta get better at this, but there we go. Okay. So this is again the Action Assault head. But I modified it and added some Borg-like features. I like that you can see the veins in its head, and it worked out really nice. But these two hoses go to a port in his back. I'm just gonna filter through these. Yeah. So the back of the head has these little ports, and it's the same thing. It's the guitar wire stuff that you use on the arms, right? Same stuff. And so it goes here. I drilled two holes. There's two little spots in that Destro chest up high, and I just drilled two holes and just shoved these in there. So he still has full head movement, still head turns, all of that. I really wanted this is very rough on purpose. I just wanted to look like he smeared makeup on his face. That's about it. But it gives a thickness to the neck, and at the same time you've got these cables running down out of the back of his head. I just thought it looked really cool. I wasn't sure how it would look, but that's the head without anything on it. So I think it turned out really nice.
Very cool.
But that has been my newest creation. Is this machine right here? The back has a tabard also. So it's got like a very Warhammer feel. I think at some point I'm probably going to model some kind of a sword that'll still fit on that backpack, on those arms on the backpack.
Yeah.
But right now, this was just something he had asked me to do. He had told me he didn't think he could put a kit together. I said, I'll do one for you. How do you want it? And all he said was, well, let's do a Red Shadows thing. So I got permission from Ben Conway at Skeletron to be sure he was cool with me using his logo for a custom. He was. So this is what I did. It's probably not as pretty as Jacob's Black Spaceman that Mikey did, but I was really happy with it. I went with lots of scratches, dents, and burns on the armor. So
Got a
that it
real
was,
Warhammer vibe to it.
I really wanted it to have that vibe.
It does.
Yeah, it does definitely, Jimmy. It's got the Vader unmasked look.
Definitely.
Like I said, I use a lot of paint tricks from my past to do the veins in the head up close. You can see
Thanks, Charles.
you can actually see them. Like in that one picture, doesn't do it justice. When you see it, it's just being able to see those lines is pretty cool. Star Trek fans will definitely see a Borg, influence there, and that's okay. It doesn't matter when you're creating something like this. Everything that's ever like, you know, uh, popped into your conscious at any time is going to help push you to do something cool.
Yep.
My point here today is I just wanted to show people, like, if you're on the fence about what you can do with this kit, like, you can do this. You can do what Mikey did for Jacob, which is the all black. You can still do that. There's nothing that stops you from doing that. But, you know, with a little more imagination, a little more, you don't have to make exactly what Mikey or I make. Like I said, I was hoping Triple D would be on here because he took his in a different direction too, and I love seeing that because that's the whole thing. I don't just, I mean, it's cool if somebody wants to just make exactly what we make, but you know, I'm cool with you guys doing something else too.
Yeah, for sure.
I encourage it. I haven't seen a lot of stuff from the DFW folks. I'm not sure what everybody's done with theirs.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen any of those either. Put that link to Kenny's video in the chat there.
Yeah, at the time when he did the video, he didn't know where to put those rifles, so I did message him and say, "Oh, you just put them here."
Yeah.
So yeah, that is something you could do. Kenny does make a comment on that video about how it doesn't feel like a model; it feels like a toy, and that's the idea. Once you get everything kind of the way you want it, I do recommend gluing, putting a little bit of epoxy or that the blue glue that I showed everybody early on. I say put a couple of touches of that on there. It'll help with your hoses, so they move through as you move the arm. They move through those holes, and he has range of motion. Definitely do that if you you may not want to glue the wrist piece because you may want to turn it depending on how he's posed. But the one on his shoulder, glue that one in place. Get it right where you want it, and just glue it in place. Same with the legs. You can just pop them on there and they'll hold. They'll be fine. But if while you're posing it, it's really frustrating. You get just posed the way you want. Get the ankle switch just how you want it, and then that knee piece or the calf piece starts moving around. So just put a little piece of glue on it when you get it right where you want it. So that's that. So just quick walkthrough of just the basic stuff we're going to have at AR. Okay, we will have our we will have split screen. Here we go. Okay, the classic Hue head. This is it's called named Hue after one of the creators, one of the huge forces behind Action Man and Action Force, Greg Hughes. So we call this head Hue. This is just a basic head with a little smirk. He's got hair. It's not textured. It's just to look like hair. That was an homage to the OG GI Joes from the 60s. Then we have that same head with the diver slash astronaut balaclava. Then you have the same one with the mustache. This is funny. These are old pics of the product that we had last year. The new prints look so much better. I printed a bunch of these in a flesh tone. Didn't get a picture this morning, but I did print a picture of all of them in a flesh tone of them in a flesh tone, and that's we're going to offer those and kind of get rid of some of these older ones that we have extras of. We don't have a lot of extras. We burned through a ton of them, but I still wanted to be able to have the newest, best stuff for everybody to bring it to the show. We still have these Iron Grenadier heads. This is a head, not a helmet. It snaps right on a neck peg. As with all of our heads, they all come with the grommet and the O-ring. This is our version of the L85 for these assault troopers. Mike, you got that? Was that the head?
Yeah, I'm working on a couple of the Iron Grenadiers, so I'll have a couple of those painted at assembly required.
Cool.
With the gold and the red.
This is honestly just so if you want a more classic look. So we have this rifle, and then we have the same rifle with an integral with a suppressor. This is a kit for the Action Assault Trooper to make him a commander. You come with the Hue head, beret. These are GI Joe parts, but we gathered them, put them in kits. We have a few of those left. We have a couple of these left. This is what you need to take the Action Assault kit and turn it into the Action Assault Trooper. We still have KUK stands. These are handy. I've been using them every time I'm working on a head or don't want to lose it. I pop it on this thing. You flip this over, there's spots on the back for these 4 magnets that you can glue in place. So if you're using like one of those cheap knife racks, with the 2 magnets in it, you can just screw that to something on your desk and just snap these on that rack and just stand all your heads that you're working on right there together. You can use the O-ring and the grommet on this end here. And that way you can fit any head you got going on. If you got a helmet or something you're working on, you can slide this over the top of this, and then it gives you a little more. Working on maybe a bigger head or something that doesn't quite fit this post. This is the deluxe helmet, and it's deluxe because it has the removable visor. The regular helmet that comes in the kit, it's a molded in visor. You get this piece of foam that you cut into pieces, and you can put wherever if you are a customizer, you may have a place you like putting the foam. A lot of times you can just put one piece on the back and it makes it set nice. Some people like to put them on the ears so that the ears help hold the helmet from sliding around. And then you get this decal set, which is this is the original eagle shape from the 1979, I think, Assault Trooper. And then these are just do what?
The 12-inch figure.
The 12-inch, yes.
Yeah.
And then these are just stripes that you can put on the helmet, or maybe make hashtags, whatever. It's just some stripes. I just threw them on there just to have a little easy customizing. This is the Action Assault kit. So you get this head, you get the bracers, the regular helmet. You get this little piece that snaps in the belt for your dusty scabbard and knife to go in. These snap over the dusty harness. We've talked about that a lot. You get the piece of foam, you get this decal sheet, and you get the regular rifle. And you'll have these kits available. We'll bring a few of these ready to go. This is the backpack is different. This is the old backpack without a rifle holder. This is still what you get in the kit. Again, that's what you're after. The Deep 6 kit will be available. I will have a few of these heads just for fun. If somebody wants to try something out. And the Dragonski kit, which I don't know why these are not in order. I have them in order. Anyway, you get, we'll have the sci-fi kit and the Dragonski kit will still be here. You guys follow us, you know about these kits already. There's the pieces to the sci-fi kit. It's designed to go on a tripwire body. This is these bracers slide right over that. You paint these, slide them over, and it really gives it the look of that sci-fi V2 and 3 figure. Dragonski kit. There's several things it'll go over, but it does work really nicely with the tripwire torso and arms. So these bracers are designed to slide right over that, and it makes the hands look like gloves. You get the LPO-50 flamethrower with this tank kit, get the helmet, and you get this chest piece that has the air breather in it. There is another end to this hose here, so you just put something that goes from the helmet to here. You'll also need a GI Joe Classified goes with everything hose.
Everything.
Techno Viper, Tele Viper, Barbecue. Any figure that comes with a hose, it's the same hose. So you just need one of those to finish this kit out.
And honestly, you could probably use a spare Monster Force hose. I've not tried that, but I'm sure that would work just fine.
Does it work? Okay.
I don't know.
That's awesome. All right, the Panther conversion for the Cobra Stinger comes with this gun and this rack that goes on the back. You also get this basket. You do have to take this thing apart to pop. There's a little applique in here. You pop that out, and this snaps in. I will have this piece available in in just regular printed colors. So if you want to use this to do like a Mark II vamp out of a Stinger, or since Stingers are so much cheaper than vamps, you can get you a Stinger and make whatever you want. But if you need something with there's fuel tanks in this kit and there's baskets in this kit. So the fuel tank and baskets, I'll have a few extras of those for people doing a vamp Mark II. Stinger conversion also comes with these sweet Action Force style wheels. Now this is just a steel rim, and this is just a hubcap, but this hubcap is used to mimic what's on the Action Force stuff. And then this pin is what snaps this wheel into the axle housing. So that's how that works. So that's what you get. You get 4 wheels, you get a basket, 2 gas tanks, and the top gun. Jimmy, I'm not sure, but by the next show, I will have a couple of extras of these printed out.
Nice.
So if you want one, just holler at me. I'll have to try to remember what the price was on this kit. I think it wasn't a lot. I think there might be.
Do not remember.
I can tell you.
That was June. Nice.
Oh.
It's a good yellow gun bunny.
It is a good yellow. It's terrible to print with, but it's good. Oops.
What the hell is that?
So
Kanan's here.
Hey. So for AR, I don't have a picture. I was trying to upload pictures from my phone and they didn't upload, but the Thunder helmet will be available. The Thunder helmet will have the flip up visor, but it will also have the monocle, and it will have it'll have a side gun, and we couldn't figure out which one, but I believe it's going to come with this M12 Beretta, so you can throw that on your Alpine. You want that gun for him. And I'm also going to I am actually working on this MPK right now. We will not do the folding stock, but it will be this gun right here, which I have loved this gun ever since I saw this.
Yeah, that's where that was.
So because of that, I've always loved that gun, and so we're we're going to do it. We're going to do that again. All right, so that's kind of the product lineup. We'll have more. The website has gone into disarray here lately, but I am getting everything arranged and around. It's just been busy. I'd like to get everything kind of put together before AR, so when we go there, we can send people over there to order stuff. Right now, you can still order built Astro suits from me or Mikey for $200. We will paint it up for you. That $200 price gets you something like Jacob's Spaceman, or it gets you something like that Red Shadows version, something like that. So that's kind of, just think about that. You think of dropping some money on it. If you just want, while I'm building them, you just want me to throw paint on it. If you just want me to throw paint on it, just ask me, tell me what you need, and we can come up with a cost in between there, and you can assemble it painted, and you don't have to do as much if that is something that you have issues with. I do recommend painting them, even though they come in sometimes the colors are mismatched and not quite right. It's still, you still should put something on it so that it doesn't degrade. Even this good resin that I'm using now will degrade in time from UV light. So that's everything. And we'll get the Panther put together so that it shows. It's not a difficult conversion, even if the parts aren't all yellow, as I would love it if it was, but I really do have a lot of trouble printing that yellow. And I have sorry, I just got a message. A buddy of mine is in the hospital. I have a contractual agreement on those Mark II design vamp style guns to print them in yellow and gray, so I will do that. And if I can, the basket is the trick. I don't know why, but the other printers that I have do not like it. My newer printer, I think, will be okay with it, but I will probably print it in a light gray, that smoke gray. I love that. I love printing in that resin. It looks so good. And it's actually about the color of primer. And I've painted a few parts yellow to test it, and it looks really good. You should paint them anyway, right? They're going to come in pieces. You should paint all the yellow parts yellow anyway. But it does look cool, so you can visualize what you are putting together. The gray, they had a very specific gray on those parts. I have found that Tamiya, I think it's called gray violet. It's a Luftwaffe color from World War II. It is almost a perfect match for the gray that Action Force used on these toys. It's the same gray they used on the Wolverine, same gray they used on pretty much everything that had gray. Like our vamps had like a really dark gray, almost looks black, but theirs is like I say, it's a more rich color. And so I have a color called Space Gray that matches it pretty close, and I'll print those parts in that, etc., etc. There's just things I'm doing to try to make these kits better and more robust, because I want people to want to do this stuff. But remember, on the Panther, that front roll bar, don't sweat it. They made them all black, and sometimes they painted that front, not the roll bar over the cage. Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's all black. They did it two different ways. So to homage that, you don't have to take that roll bar off and paint it. You can just leave it black. But the basket and gas tanks were yellow, so those are going to print in yellow if I can. There you go. I think Zakanan has one of these kits. I think he got one from me at DFW. So there you go. That's what we're doing. As we move forward too on this show, Mikey has a show where he does tutorials. Mikey has a show where he talks about just random stuff. A big part of the show earlier this year was me walking you guys through doing modeling work. So if you guys, if that stuff you want to see, I will do more of that. I've got several projects that I'm working on, some that I'm not under an NDA to work on. So I would happily walk you guys through like how I do a gun, or how I do that kind of stuff. I do have
Something on it, Zach. Clear coated.
at least clear coat it.
Heck,
At least give it a shot of clear, especially those gun barrels, because I'm afraid they'll just eventually start bending. I don't think they will with that ABS like resin, but I haven't had anything like that done yet long enough to know. The parts that are in bags are not warping or bending in any way, so should be okay. And again, in your display is pretty much all inside anyway with no sunlight, so it should be okay.
that's true. Zakanan
Sure.
is not a fan of sunlight himself, so he does good. What's up, jerk? How are you, sir? Good morning.
Thanks for popping in, man.
I hope work is going splendid for you, my man. Yeah. So, yeah. Wednesday night I did a bunch of mustache sculpting while I was on with Tony, and then Friday night, consequently, while I was on with Jerk and Zakanan and the members show, I sculpted some beards. I think they came out pretty good. This is the one of the heads that came with the tracksuit mafia. So he just kind of had like the goatee. So now he's got a full beard. You know, sculpt that shit out. We did another beard on Big Ben, so that can be a big bear, the Russian. What else? Tomac Zaymont. They got turned into fucking Wyatt Earp. Big burly mustache on that one.
That's really nice.
And low light, I turned into War Chest, I guess. He's got a big old goatee on him. He's that one. That head's all about the nookie. And then Kennedy here, I just went on and gave him the full Colonel Sanders treatment.
There you go. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Get that. This Duke head, he's got a fine mustache. Good there. Flint. Flint's got a real square head, so he got the Fu Manchu.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking rancher.
That's great.
And just got Falcon with his big head. So he just got a big old lip length mustache. So that's still military regulation right there.
There you go.
And then Dusty, you just got kind of a classic swoop. They're all pretty magnificent mustaches. I figure if you're gonna sculpt a mustache, you just give it the full treatment. You know what I mean? That's my theory on it. Yeah, Duke, yeah. Yeah, I could
That's
see
just
that.
fantastic.
I could see a Sam Elliott in there. You know. See that. My
Mikey, do
diamond.
you have a picture of? Have you done anything with one of the old man heads?
The Kook's old man head.
Yeah.
Outside of base paint, no, because I'm in the middle of it.
So that'll be one of our new heads.
With the way it is now, it looks like a fucking Knights Templar.
He does.
That's what I see when I think of the. I think about the Indiana Jones.
Right.
That's what I think. That's what I think of that head. That looks like that's what it looks like to me in the hood.
It does. It does. So that's our new head. Just
Yeah.
to give you some variation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I did not have. I still have the pictures. Still haven't uploaded, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So working on lots of heads right now, and working on making some call sign longbow figures, but 6-inch. Basically doing what Tony's Figs was doing with the Delta 17 figures, something along those lines. So they're back there. Jimmy says, "I wonder is an original classified jacked up Falcon head sculpt made to look into Sergeant Barnes from Platoon?"
I don't think that would take much, really, because
I don't think so either, because that's who I think it looks like.
I really think that's who they were trying to channel when they did that. Was a young Barnes.
They just slipped a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit!
You really to pull that off.
Head.
If he'd have had more scars on his face, it would have.
If they'd have gone in real intense with the scars and not given him such a square jaw. Point that shit a little bit. I don't think that would take much. They would take more, because I think if I were going to do it, I would actually roll 3 thin lines of green stuff is what I use, and actually braid it, and then go in and add textures. It would be more difficult, but it's not like impossible or anything. You know, probably do something like that. So when the black figures come out, when Robert does his pirates, you know, somebody will probably want something like that.
For sure.
Railroad captive. Oh, like a big curly one.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. For a true mustache twirl.
Indeed. That is, you know, until along came John. Those beards and stashes really change the head sculpts into a different person. They do.
They do, and they hide what might not be a great head sculpt. They make it so it's passable.
Yeah, and with, you know,
a squad of SEALs or something, you know, operators. You know, they usually by that time have a little longer hair and they have beards. So doing that.
And then, I mean, we all get stuck with extra heads from, you know, buying different figures and stuff like that, and using bodies. So, you know, I'm sure most of us have a bunch of dusty heads because they were, you know, $7 at Ross, and I'm sure we have, you know, Sergeant Stalker heads because they were $12 on Amazon forever, and so a little bit of green stuff, and a little patience turns it into a different character. And then you can use it. It doesn't have to sit in the bin anymore. You know, you can only repaint the hair so many times before you need something else. You need something else. So, and then I found out once you remove the Zartan, like the makeup that he has, and you just paint it like a head, how different that looks.
Almost
That's
a Vosloo look from the Mummy.
yeah, like they really did it, but the makeup totally hides it. Like that's a good head. That's a good sculpt, man. Like kind of impressed with it. Yeah, just removing the factory paint and give it a little color because he's a pasty guy. Is the green stuff better than epoxy sculpt? I have never used epoxy sculpt, but I like green stuff because a green stuff, maybe epoxy sculpt is this way too. Green stuff never turns solid, so even after you've sculpted and it's cured, it moves like
Rubber,
softer plastic. Yeah, it's almost like a hard rubber.
PVC.
Yeah, like PVC. Um, that's why I like it because it doesn't turn hard where it would be brittle. You know, if you drop a you know a big beard you sculpted out of green stuff, you drop it onto concrete, it's probably not going to do anything. But like milliput would shatter.
Yeah, milliput would break. And with milliput, you got to be careful because you have to make sure that you cure it out all the way. You
Yeah,
know,
and I don't like the mess that milliput makes. So that's why I
and
gave
it
up
gets all
using it.
over your fingers and all that. So green stuff
You know,
is a little
for
more
Dad and
friendly.
I, you know, we're old school with the sculpting, so we're you know keeping the tool wet from so it doesn't stick. If you're doing that with milliput, you're gonna have to use mouthwash every 20 minutes because it's gonna get gross. But you know, is what it is.
It's funny you say that. The things I have done just to do one of those sculpts. I've done tons of milliput sculpts,
Yeah,
but I
gross.
also for years I used that Fimo type clay, that
Mm,
you have to heat up or boil, and I've done some great sculpts and kept them safe and dry and everything else, and then they just end up cracking and peeling off of whatever I sculpted. So
yeah, I mean, you sculpted all of the angel stuff in that shit.
yeah, yeah. Most of the custom heads of real people that I've done hand sculpts, most of those were done with that kind of clay.
Yeah, but you also usually molded it after that in a silicone mold,
Yeah,
so you usually
so
had resin
so
attached.
I did have a saved version of them. So,
But yeah, the first draft, the original piece is usually busted by now. I mean,
yeah,
shit, that
they
was
did.
almost
Some
30
of
years
those
ago.
have big crack. They look good in the front, but in the back you see a big crack in it where the clay where it didn't get heated all the way through. It's really difficult to do it, and if you boil it, you get a good cure, but it changes the texture of it, and all of a sudden your
Mm,
pretty shiny sculpt just looks dull and oxidized.
yeah, it sucks.
It's just whatever you're working on. But a lot
Bill
of
Fan,
times,
we appreciate you being here, man.
definitely. Uh,
Have a good day.
the thing is, when you do something like that, when I do things, still like to. I still sometimes will bust out the old modeling clay, like from when we were kids that never dries, and I will block out a shape with it, like on a leg or something. I've done leg armor. I just block it out to see how I want the shapes to go together. I still need that tactile feel, even though I do so much digitally. I still find that the tactile feel is necessary. So I will knock something out of that clay. I can leave it. Yeah, I gotta be careful with it because it'll get bumped and misshapen.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I also don't have to worry about it. And once it's done, I can peel the clay off of it, throw it away. It's just clay. Clay's cheap.
Sure, sure.
not as cheap as it used to be, but good old-fashioned modeling clay really helps you break in shapes and see how things go together.
Sure. Cliff says he has a bunch of those Dester and Kennedy heads used for body and kit bashing. Yeah, man, they're good. They're good heads. I've used a couple of them. Tony says, "Oh my, okay, might have to give that a shot." Yeah, the green stuff's pretty good. The only thing I hate about it is that usually, so it's a two-part, but the two parts come together. So you just cut a strip of that and then mix the blue and the green. And what sucks is the space in between the blue and the green has hardened. Like if you keep this for very long, I don't do a lot with this. I use little pieces at a time. So
Mikey and
now,
I went to a gaming store in Springfield where you could buy it from them by the foot.
oh yeah, I forgot about
You
that.
remember
They
that?
sure
Yeah.
did.
Like she
Yeah, that
just
was
undid
cool.
a roll and like cut off 4 inches for me. Like it was fun that I didn't have to invest in a whole pack. And she was
Yeah,
just like, this way it won't dry out. You can use it. And
yeah. So the center of it, usually you got to cut the center out because since they're touching, there's a thin strip in there that's hardened, and if you mix it, you'll get these little solid pieces in there. It's frustrating. It's the one piece part about this I do not like, but it's pretty minute, so I don't worry about it too much. That's a good type. The solidity is my biggest issue with epoxy. You are welcome, man. Macanita Silva. What's up, guys? What's up, sir? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you being here. Yeah. So that is why I use it. Now, I kind of talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, but um, basically there's two stages to the sculpting with the green stuff that I have found that works for me. The first stage is getting it on whatever you're sculpting onto and getting a rough shape. So that's why it's really sticky in that time. So that's why you're licking whatever sculpting tool you're using. Like I use that knitting needle. Like it's just keeping that wet, rolling it out so you get the right shape, and then waiting until it starts curing where it's not sticky anymore, and then go in and final shape it, give it your texture, and then let it cure. Overnight usually works for me, but
it's funny you said that because honestly, knitting needles and crochet needles are like the secret weapon of small scale sculptors. You can buy those. Yeah, you can buy those. You can buy those packs of the small, the shorter needles that are, that are more for heavier threads that are blunt on the end. You can buy a pack that has all those. I have one really sharp one in there and one that's really blunt for doing smooth edges.
This is
you buy them at Walmart, man. And you can buy the big needles like those. You just get a couple of different sizes at Walmart. You spend $12, you've got like almost every tool you will need, as opposed to going out and try to find dental grade perfect sculpting tools. Even though there are a couple of those that I find, the one with the little spade head on it, I find that one of the best.
I use this thing all the fucking time.
That's the one right there. That guy right there with that head.
Little scoop with the kind of concave or concurved outside, and then this one with the little tip, good for digging, but not not cutting. But this is very useful.
Yeah, that is the only tool that I use all the time that is not a cheap Walmart tool. But those knitting needles, the nice thing about a knitting needle in any size you get, the fact that it's all a cylindrical shape that is exactly the same, you can use it to slightly roll, and it's not going to bump anything because of the way the needle's shaped. You can just do it. Yeah.
Matt used a double-sided dental pick himself. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And then usually for hair, I use the chisel tip and just go in and make that. And then I've been doing, as an extra effort, wire brush for the beard. So after I go in there with that, I take this and run it across there, and it kind of molds it out so it's not so uniform. Because if something's uniform, like hair, it's gonna stick out. Your eye catches it. It's so strange. But if you use this and kind of drag it across there, it'll change it into a little more random. And then on the bottom, kind of poke at it so it gives it the bottom of the beard texture. That's my new technique. I started working that one out.
Yeah, when you do sculpting like that, you do tend to pick up a lot of stuff.
A lot of it's just kind of trial and error, really. I mean, you can watch videos and you can see how other people do it, but that may not work for you. And just kind of figure it out. Thursdays at 9 o'clock Central.
That was really nice.
Thank you. Just bridged the gap. I rainbow bridged it. That's for you, Tony.
I was trying to find an old sculpt or something that was a little more than a beard. But I don't.
Well, you dig very deep into your Facebook, you see all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I've been all over
ARC troopers and stuff.
Yeah, and then stuff like that is a little different because it's because like doing something like the pilot helmet, I made that out of scratch, and I used every trick in the book to do that. That was
that's the one that's got the pill bottle lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Let's pop that dude up here. I think I have pictures of it. I don't know, you just end up doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when I started and I was doing 4-inch stuff, like this was one of the first things I sculpted was this head. And it's pretty crude. I took the roadblock, the rock head, and added big jaw and big cheekbones and the flat top on it. And it's it's not great, but there it is. And then a little further down the road, when I started getting a little more ballsy, I sculpted Dragonsky, and that was milliput. So that's all of this and the torso, part of the helmet. That was all milliput. And then one of the last ones I did for 4-inch stuff was actually Sergeant Slaughter, where I widened his jawbone, resculpted his glasses, and made Bazooka's jersey an actual top with a collar and folded cuffs on his sleeves. I think that was one of the last ones that even pulled the pants where it looks like they're, where it's tucked into his pants, his shirt into his pants. That was one of the last ones I did. I just kind of like over time just added a little bit to it, and you get a little braver as you go.
Oh yeah.
The big jobs aren't so much scary as this big challenge you see, and you're like, can I do it? And the more longer you go, the more you're like, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know where that stuff went.
Thanks, Matt. Jim Largo's in the house. Good morning, sir. Says, I found an old Bratz car I want to repaint. Never tackled anything this big. Should I break out the airbrush or rattle can? Do I need to sand the surface first? On vehicles, I say rattle can.
Just scuff it. Scuff the
definitely
surface.
Scuff it. Definitely scuff it. I use quadruple-aught steel wool. That's my surface prep. And then I spray it off with the air gun and wipe it down with a little isopropyl and hit it. That should be plenty sufficient. That's how I did the Hiss repaint. That's how I did the Vanguard repaint. The Tumbler Lee, all used that. It worked really well for me. Dad's done more model cars and stuff than I have, so he might have a different take.
No, I think Ralcan's the way to go. If you don't get the finish on it you want, then get some of that Tester's lacquer clear and finish it out in that, and you'll be pleased. It will take even if you use like the automotive, like remember if you buy automotive paint, the Duplicolor stuff, remember that takes a clear coat anyway. So no matter what you do with that, if it's a metallic, it's going to be a little bumpy. So you're going to need to hit it with something. And that Tester's lacquer clear is really pretty amazing.
It's good. It's for an out of a can choice. It's very, very nice. And the Duplicolor, what is that one? That one's like lacquer enamel or something, right? It's some kind of weird combination or something.
Yeah, they've got
a few coats of it is okay. It's not terrible. In fact, that's how I've been clear coating the helmets and doing 2 thick coats of it, and it looks really good, I think.
Yeah, I have found that it doesn't take near as much sanding. I've been 600 sand that film kind of off of it. If there's a bump on the inside, spend a little more time on that to get the bump out, and then 2 coats on the back inside, 2 coats on the outside. And they look really good, and I don't even polish them or anything. They just look fine. Obviously, if you want to go all the way and polish it all the way out, you certainly can. There's no reason not to, except time. Sure. And if you have time, then definitely, that's true with everything, right? If you have time and you want to spend the time, the more time you spend on something, the better it's going to go until you go too far and destroy it.
Yep. That's accurate right there.
And that is a tongue-in-cheek joke to anybody that has ever over sanded something to the point that it was not safe.
Sanded a body line off or something?
Yeah. Sanded so much all your door handles on the car disappear, and yeah.
You tell Chief to calm the fuck down.
Who else? You can't. We got overnight company that has been just gets them all riled up.
He's watching Bonanza. What are you talking about?
I think he's watching football, actually.
Oh, it is Sunday.
It is. Earlier it was football on the TV and some hilarious video on his phone, both at the exact same volume level.
Max.
It's great. It's awesome. It's awesome. So good. So good. Yeah. Yeah, so Mikey and I have been talking a lot, and Mikey's gonna bring a lot more heads than normal to AR. We're gonna try to focus on my modeling and Mikey painting. We want to, like I said, we want to do the guns. We got some other stuff we'd like to get done, but probably won't. They will get done, just not in the time frame that we have here. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just, there's what I was looking for. This is a really old one, so don't judge too harshly. This is sort of statue I was doing of Cable. and it ended up, it was a little big, so I had to shrink it down. There was a lot of stuff that happened with that, and the more I shrunk it, the better the head sculpt looked, honestly. Sometimes you can't use body fillers or any kind of filler at all. In those instances, this is the kind of instance that I'm talking about, that you can sand too far and then you're screwed. You can't hide anything with that. And the Cub Scouts are so brutal. It really, I shouldn't get so much joy out of watching a child just become overcome with sadness when some kid brings a car like this in. So yeah, that's all wood. And it meets regulation as well. Oh, there it is with the stickers on it. But that's the kind of project that if you sand too far, you have to start over. Let's see, what was the other? I think that's really, I thought I had a better picture. That statue really wasn't that far from completion. I just stopped working on it. The head wasn't even the crazy part of it, you know.
That happens.
So that Pinewood Derby car, the funny part about that is that when I worked for Bass Pro, Johnny Morris, the owner of Bass Pro, and Richard Childress, the Good Ranch Racing team, had a little friendly wager at a Cub Scout, Boy Scout, I guess, Pinewood Derby. It was a little older kids. So I was told to make Pinewood Derby cars to race against the owner of a racing team. That is, let's see here. So these are the cars that we built for that.
There they are.
There is plenty of Bondo in these two bodies right here. But it was fun. It was cool. You know, so like I say, there's so many things I've done over the years that I don't even like think about.
Eden?
Hey man. Yes, he did. He did look like Curly. That is for sure. Really just trying to find some better pictures here. But the problem is back then we didn't have, you couldn't just use your phone and take a snapshot. You know what I mean? Like everything was.
No, you had to have the digital camera.
Digital camera. I had stuff on Polaroids that'll, you know, never, that are gone. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's stuff that was on film.
If you want to remove them, just sand them.
Just sand them. Largo, what I would do on that is don't go all the way to the body when you're trimming those off, but use one of those nail files, the wide, wide, flat ones that are only about that long, like that. They also have ones that are just straight like that, but straight without the diamond shape. And that way you can kind of, yes, just like that. Use one of those with a light bit on it. Don't get carried away. Get it pretty close to the body, and then do the rest with the rest. Just try to block sand. I talked about the Pinewood Derby stuff at Hobby Lobby. The Pinewood Derby guys. I don't think I have one here because I've been working on my display. But they come with they have this little set of sanding wedges. Then they're just injection molded pieces of plastic. Some are triangles, some are flat, and you can just stick on like sticky paper. The sticky kind of sanding paper. You put that on it, or you can just hold your wet sandpaper up close and just go gently cross hatch, right, as much as possible. Don't just cut straight up and down or side to side. Just a little cross hatch, nice and slow. Get it down to the body, and then go up to 600 and get it to where it flattens out. That's what I would do with it. Don't. It's easy to think that you could do it with a Dremel, but knocking details off a car body, I would always. You can knock if it's really sticking out. Sure, cut a little bit off. If you're working on a metal Hot Wheels body, sure, you could use a Dremel and cut it down pretty close, and you're going to sand it back out anyway and get your detail back out. But on a plastic car, those bodies are flexible. They're pretty soft. You don't want to get that heat because it'll not only could you build up the melted plastic on the Dremel tip you're using, but you'll warp the plastic too, and then you got this big bump in it, unexplainable, and you'll be mad because you have this almost otherwise perfect thing, and then there's this ugly bump in the side. You can't do anything else about.
Yep. Emery boards. Yep. The foam core emery boards. That's the best. In my book.
Yeah, I agree.
And usually they come. Well, you can get them in variety packs that have different grits to them. Like this one, I don't even know what this one is.
Here's a. Show a couple of these. I don't think you get in trouble for this, but this is a body sculpt I did for a project when Guild Wars was a big thing, and I wanted to build a body that I could put any kind of armor on. And so this is done with an armature and then Sculpey. And so the Sculpey stays malleable until you cook it, heat it up with a heat gun or put it in a toaster oven or whatever. And then I did
the resin bottles and a can of quick release in the back. I haven't seen those in forever.
Oh yeah. Then to get the and then I cast that. I cast it. I made a massive mold of that body. I cast it. Hey, Rowdy. I cast it, and then I was able to just put whatever clothes that I wanted on it. And like here's just an example. I don't know if I ever took a picture of it finished, but I used a different type, a more detailed modeling clay for this. So this was all this was done with, we were talking earlier about about using those sewing needles. I did most of this with sewing needles just because I was experimenting and seeing what kind of stuff I could do. So this was just another thing that I was doing with that statue I was showing, because I was trying to do Guild Wars armor on this character, and that's what ended up happening. That's funny. Mikey was talking about projects in the background. You can see all kinds of stuff going on back there. All right, just for kicks, this is what so I made a big mold, this is what it looked like. It is, going to cast it and out of white resin. And then the idea was I just put whatever the proportions are a little off on her because she's designed to look like the game model, and it had very long legs on the females. So yeah, lots of clay work in the past. Lost Mikey. So now I gotta keep people entertained. Okay.
Just do impressions. That works for me.
Does that, is that what I guess I could have sang? I could have sang a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Largo. Now they have so many extra kits and stuff you can buy for them, and then you can buy the slabs for the side out of wood already cut out. Back then, I was just doing those on a cutting them out of wood and making them work, and then cutting them down to the size I wanted to put fenders on it. The middle's got to stay regulation, but you're gonna add stuff to it, and if you're really careful with what kind of wood you add to it, you actually can help the weight balance of the car. Little tips and tricks you learn racing those, like things like, or you always keep one front wheel higher than the other one. There's only 3 wheels touching the track. Slows down drag. Crazy stuff like that. Man, they get into it, dude. And if you go to Hobby Lobby around race time, they'll have like an entire end cap of them. Like they know everybody's into it. You know what I mean? So they really push it hard.
And then at the end of race season, you get all your supplies for next year if you're smart.
Yes, that's exactly
Mark them
right.
down to 70% off.
You go out there and you grab whatever you can. You're like, oh, I'll need those. Those little sanding block things, though, I love picking those up at Hobby Lobby because they are always on clearance after because nobody knows really what they're for. But I think it comes with 3 little shapes and they're super, super great to use. So like AR will be our next big deal. And I think we have one show between now and then, Mikey.
Yes, there will be one show. Let me see. What do we got? Okay, so we will have. Yep, the weekend before Assembly Required, we will have a show on the 9th.
Great.
Yeah.
So by that show, we should have everything pretty much modeled and ready, and not all prints will probably be done, but everything will be done to show you guys what we'll have. And then, like I say, if I can get the website updated by then, that would be awesome.
And we know that some of y'all may be at Legion's Con that weekend, Zach. So
that's true.
We understand if you miss it. But yeah.
All right.
So one of these years, Pop, we're gonna have to try to do a Legion's Con.
Yes, we are.
One of these years when we get our shit together.
My last couple of months, I'm starting to wonder if that is ever going to happen. There's still a helmet I still want to get done. It's just going to be work. Even I found a good base to use for it, but to basically get my shapes and everything. But still, it's actually just one more time for everybody. When you 3D print, okay, you have to have a model to 3D print. I mean, even if you spend $50 on a model on like Turbo Squid or one of the good sites, those aren't airtight printable models. That is just a surface model of the object. So you really gotta have something to go by. So you can't you can't take a picture. If somebody sends you a picture and says, "Can you 3D print this?" No, I can't 3D print a picture.
Yes.
I can knock something out in Blender, but I don't know if it'll fit what you're wanting it to fit, because I don't know what scale you're wanting it in. Mikey sent me like 25 heads the other day to print, and 2 of them I know he paid pretty good money for, but they weren't watertight prints, and they'll take some more time because they'll have to be repaired. And everybody seems to have a different idea of how big a 1/12 scale head should be.
Sure.
Because it's not really 1/12. It's a little off of 1/12. But the idea is, if you're going to use it on a classified or action force body, then it needs to be in scale with the heads that are those. So I will get them ready on the print, and then I will scale all of them up to where they're all about the same size, from eye to mouth at least, so that it feels like they're all part of the same universe. So if you were going to like build a SEAL team out of GI Joes or Action Force, you would want them to look like the same guys. Even though in real life people have bigger heads, smaller heads, all that.
There's some variation, but rarely is
an action figure. Yeah, on an action figure, like the old man head, if we did that in scale, it wouldn't fit in the bubble because I have a really large head. I just have a big head. I can't help it. So I didn't do that in scale. I took the head sculpt that I got from Callsign Longbow sculptor, and that's another thing. Like that head was sculpted for 3 3/4 O-ring figure, so the proportion from nose to ear is very different than it is on Classified. Because of the shape of the O-ring guys' heads, they wanted those little helmets to fit on top of them and be fairly interchangeable. So the ear line is way forward of what it is like on a Classified figure. You're okay with the head being an oval shape like a real head is, but on the O-ring figures, the heads are pretty round.
Yeah.
So to do that, you have to pull the ears back, pull the hairline back. So I scaled it down to fit in the hood that I'd already designed for the Hue head, and that just made it work. But it's fun to do that. I have a couple of other GI Joe scans that I had of these Classified figures that I've played around with, putting them with those hoods on it, so you could have like a whole team of the Joe team, like Star Brigade, they're all in different, all would have heads. You could have Hawk and Duke and Flint and everybody you need, and that would be so that that's what's cool about that. Even though sometimes you see the scans online that are cheap and they don't look great, they usually print pretty good. They don't necessarily fit the ball joint, doesn't fit right, but that's why Mikey and I use the grommet, so that doesn't really matter. You can get around that.
Oh yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, pretty good.
But that, so just kind of keep that in mind. If anybody out there is like thinking about getting into 3D printing, just remember, unless you have a source for models or somebody that's doing them for you, you're going to have to be sure that you get good models, or your prints will fail. Or they'll do things. They'll do things that you can't repair, or that take a lot more repair than what you should. You should be able to just make a print, pop it off, maybe sand an edge if it's mechanical. Sand an edge or two to get those little lines off. Even the the Astro suit has spots where it comes off of the trees. So
Yeah,
you
the supports is something that people that do it a lot understand how you can position those so you don't get contact points on curved surfaces or on the face. You know, you're angling it so the supports are mostly in the neck hole. You
yeah.
know, those are things that people that are experienced with the prints have messed with enough to know how to do it. But if you're just getting a 3D sculpt off of line, it's not set up to be print ready. It's not like you can just plug it in. You have to put supports in. Those are things you need to be aware of.
Most software has auto support and it works most of the time, but it does weird things. Like it'll put a support on this eyebrow, but not this one. So I tend to print the head. I'll just tilt it, redo the supports till it doesn't need that support anymore, and that is the angle that I printed at. But I try, like, if anything has a hole in it that doesn't go all the way through, I always try to print that side so that it drains. There's not as much to drain out when I turn the thing over, so I don't. Also, the weight of that resin. So on the bubbles, like, it would be easier to sand if all of the supports were on the outside of the helmet.
Sure.
But what that would do, and because you're using clear resin,
cup of resin,
then you basically have that little cup of resin that's those little tiny supports are trying to support. And if you do auto supports, it doesn't know that you're going to print it like a solid piece of resin. It just thinks you're printing what's there. So there's a lot to it. So you just have to tilt that helmet like I did to just make sure that I have the best situation altogether. And also remember, if you do the clear coat thing on the helmets, don't overdo it because it will pull in a spot on the inside of that helmet and you'll never get that out. It'll turn yellow and then you'll have to deal with that. I got lucky on Ken's trooper because I had a spot on it that I was not happy with, and I turned that into a scrape, a dented feature on the helmet. So it just looked like it was supposed to be. He does talk about it in
he does talk about, yeah.
I wanted to scrape it up anyway, so that looked like a pretty cool spot to put the scrape. Anybody late? Let's show this again because it is pretty damn cool. So this is what it is. It's just a Red Shadows custom special head that has two hoses coming out the back of the head. So anyway, for anybody that missed that earlier, that was the special project I was working on last time that I couldn't show yet because he did not want to see it until it was done. So I didn't want to put it online. So anyway, that is just an Astro suit kit with a special head, which I will be printing some of those heads if anybody does decide they want one of those heads. And the tabard is just ribbon that I bought at a hobby store. I actually have like an entire box of ribbon from doing 1/6 scale projects because you use ribbon for belts, you use ribbon for harnesses, you use ribbon for lots of things on those projects. So I had a couple of colors, but I did have a bright red. They have like 10 different grays and olive greens and blues. I mean, you could make, if you want to do a Space Marine, you could, Space Marine color. It's obviously not a Space Marine.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Jacob.
Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, buddy.
We were talking about your kit earlier.
That's true. That's true.
Also, earlier we talked about if you guys, if you want, I will do more like we did earlier this year where I was doing the tutorials on the step by step of doing something on Onshape or in CAD. I got weapons. I got some weapons to design and build. So it'd be yes, yes, it was a Red Shadows version.
Nailed it.
Because sometimes when you have assets, it's fun to use them.
It's true. Assets and friends. They don't mind you using their assets.
That's right. That's right. I am always happy. I was giving a friend of mine a hard time the other day because he was telling me, just kind of telling me about the situation. I was just like, it's one of those things where I have to, I got bills to pay. I don't make the money that I used to, and so I had to really think about AR and how I was going to pull that off. And we came to the conclusion that I needed to find a sponsor. I said, yeah, a couple of kooks needs a sponsor to take care of a hotel room. And so I made a little his little like flyer, and I left it on his kitchen counter. Would you like to sponsor a I really like. He told me how I should word it, so that's how I worded it on it, and I just left it on his table. Yeah. So anyway, that's just a funny story. Everything's cool. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, if you I have several Astro suits ready. I have a Deep Six set ready. I do have a couple of those weird robot style cyborg heads. If you do get a cyborg head from me, I'll send you one of those. I'll send you a couple pieces of that metal hose too to rig it up. And that head, when you get it, if you buy it from us at AR or whatever, it'll have a couple pieces of that in it too, which was handy because when I was doing all the R&D work on the hoses, I cut several of them too short, but they're perfect for this. So I had a little bag of them that says used for customs. Broke those out. The tubes go from the back of his head. I drilled 2 holes into the Destro torso and just stuck them in the torso. So we still have full movement of the head and all that. I know I said that earlier. I'm just saying that for anybody that came on late. But yeah, let us know if you guys want me to do the tutorials again. I had fun with that. It's weird because like last night I was working on one and I talked to Mikey, I don't know, around 7 o'clock. And I had the receiver and everything done on this gun. And then sometime around midnight, I just got mad at it and started over. So the result was what I wanted. By starting over, I learned a lot on how to, people don't realize like guns aren't just like squares, like the way they stamp metal and everything to make the shapes go together a certain way. And if there's an way you always identify that weapon, and you're like, oh, there you go. Exactly.
Cue the Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah. I may have to put together a sizzle reel of that.
That'll be good.
Basically I'll just use the same thing you use for our intro, but I'll put it to Arms of an Angel instead of the music that you use,
and slow it down.
Yeah.
For just pennies a day, you could help a starving artist. Yeah. That'll go over well, I think.
I think it would. As far as a hilarious comedy video, probably.
Yeah.
this. I could try it with that song by the band James called Laid. I could try it with that music, but I don't think it would have the same effect.
I don't know that one.
Well, y'all look it up. It's pretty entertaining.
I guess so.
I mean, it's no hippie chick. Okay. So, anybody have any questions or anything they want to ask us while we're both here?
For AR, are we going up Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which means we still got to figure out hotel arrangement too.
Yeah.
Missed that window, so
we did miss that window,
which sucks, but
it does. Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
Thursday's 9 o'clock Central. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything else. You got anything else we need to talk about? I said we'll have our next show on November 9th.
And it will be that episode will be hopefully a full rundown of what we'll have available at AR. Okay. And if anybody's going to AR and they want anything done by then, this is kind of the last minute. This is the last time we could work on a big project. Either one of us. Especially if you want a suit done. But I have definitely time to do a few, 2 or 3. I was going to do a couple more for the show anyway, so I just put them all on the little pegs in the styrofoam, paint them, and then just go one at a time and start putting them together.
So if you need one of those, hit John up because I'm booked. I got heads to make for AR. Got some figures I got to get done. So I don't have any capacity for anything else. But
no, but I can.
John's ready to do some kits. If you guys want one of the Spaceman kits or something like that painted, hit the man up.
If you want a raw one, I can send those out this week.
Yep.
We got stuff ready to go right now. I can always print up extras for the show, but if anybody wants one, it'd be a really good time to get one.
And he's got inventory of other stuff too. He's got the Dragunsky kits and the sci-fi kits. So if you're looking for those, hit him up.
Largo, yeah, hit up if you have a Sally's or one of those BD supply stores, just go in there and get you some good emery boards and nail boards. Just look at them, feel them. Mikey's talking about the ones with the foam, so you turn them sideways, and it's not just a piece of plastic with sandpaper on it. It's a piece of plastic, a layer of foam on both sides, and then the sandpaper. Those are the best ones to use because they have a little bit of give. You just sand lightly, let the grit do the work. That's true with all of it, right? Anytime you dig in with sandpaper, you're going to put grooves, you're going to put stuff in. So just let the grit on the sandpaper do its job.
Yeah.
Don't hit it too hard, or you'll have scratches you'll regret later. Even if you're sanding primer, even if you hit it with some primer and you sand the primer, same with that. Just get you some 600, wet sand the crap out of it, and do your next layer. If you want to go that far, you don't have to. Trust me, the new plastic primers are pretty good if they have just that. Like Mike talked about that steel wool adhesion, just a little bit of that. As long as you just want to do it, really, you say scuff lightly on a plastic body like a Barbie car, a Bratz car, or anything like that you would buy at Walmart or in a store like that. They're such soft materials. They don't make them like they make the mechs and the big toys. They're a slightly softer material than that. So you really kind of want to try to get all the shine off of it because that'll be the spot that'll. But again, wear gloves.
Yep.
Because when you're working like in a shop, like I have stuff going on all the time. So I try to wear gloves when I can because I really don't know what the last thing I touched was. And a lot of times I'm doing 2 or 3 things at once. I don't think to go wash my hands after I do this to do this. So wear gloves when you're wet sanding, when you're prepping that body. Don't let any of your body oil get on it if you can help it until after it's painted. I literally had bought a brand new car one time, and it had one spot of rust on it. And when it first started, you could tell it was where somebody touched the body with their thumb or finger. And Chrysler still didn't pay for it. But you could tell because the paint started bubbling out. You could almost see a thumbprint in it. It was insane.
Yep. Wheel well behind the back passenger door.
Yeah, yeah, just a random spot that should not have even had rust on that car. Most of those cars do not have rust like that.
That spot was on the side of the body. Like there's no reason water wouldn't have set there.
Yeah, it was
none of
about
that shit.
4 inches up from the bottom, above the door line, in between the fender and the door. It wasn't even close to where water would collect. It's just
completely
a spot.
unnatural.
So imagine that on a car this size, your thumbprint or your fingerprint on it. You'll know exactly what happened when a few weeks or a month after that paint bubbles up right there. So just scuff it to where you don't see any, and the steel wool will work for that. You don't have to sand the whole thing.
Yep. Morning, Tony.
Morning.
How you doing, boy? How you doing? James Lucas, have either of you seen a customized or custom classified head that looks more like a Real American Hero figure? I hate the one they did. It looks like poop to me. No, actually, I don't think I have seen a.
I'm wondering, Mikey, that hatless Carl Weathers head. Put a mustache on that. Does it have a mustache? It does, doesn't it? I wonder if that would work for an Alpine.
I mean, this is the one with the hat on it, but I don't think Carl Weathers looks like Alpine. I don't know. It's a better head than the one that came on the classified. I don't have a problem with the classified one at all. But I never cared about Alpine. Any Joe that associated with Bazooka pretty much got out in my mind. Got outed.
Jacob, it is the 14th to the 16th of November.
Yeah, 14 through 16. Boy, Des Moines. Gonna get these nuts. Yeah. I mean, it definitely looks like Carl Weathers. If you're down with Carl Weathers being Alpine, I think it's a pretty good option, honestly. Or you get one of the Michael B. Jordan heads. That's a good one. I like this guy. You know, put the hat on him. Why not? Why not? Yeah. So that's pretty much this week's episode. This week coming up, Wednesday night, I've got. There you go. Wednesday night, I've got more head painting with JMK Custom Works Live with Two Silly Gooses. Me and Tony will be doing our thing. Like I said, plenty of heads to paint, so I'll be doing more of that. Thursday night, Zach and I have a big show on Figure It Out. We're doing a crossover with, well, I say crossover. I think they're coming to our channel, but Smoke and Joe's will be on Figure It Out. So we'll have Shane, Woody, and Tony. And maybe Fox. I don't even know. We may have 7 people.
That's awesome.
6 people in the house. So that'll be fun. So we're building a Cobra team. We're building a Cobra squad. So that's 12 members. So you have a squad leader, a number 2. Those are the only 2 named characters you get. And then you have, let's see, what is it? Three specialist vipers. So it'd be something like a range viper, a laser viper, something that's a viper with a specialty, heat viper, whatever. And then 7 infantrymen. So you could have Cobra Troopers, you could have Iron Grenadiers, you could have Vipers, whatever. 7 of those. 2 one-man support vehicles, Trouble Bubbles, Claws, something like that. And then 1 main vehicle. It could be a Hiss Tank, could be a Devastator, whatever. So that is what we're going to do. It's probably going to be a long show because nobody in that crew is short-winded. So, but it's going to be a fun show. We're going to have a good time. That'll be on my channel. So looking forward to that. And I've been. What are you doing? On my way to 1,000 subs. I am 1 away from 900. 1 away, guys. Help me out. Zach and I are both on the road to 1,000. So we're probably gonna start doing, the drives, man. We might do a giveaway or something like that to help us get some numbers, but we haven't talked about it yet. But I'm sure we will. So that is what is going on in the JMK Custom Works side. Yeah, you got anything, Pop?
No, I am just trying to bust some stuff out for the next few weeks, get some projects started. So, like I said, I got time, I got slots because I'm going to be painting multiples. So,
hell yeah, Matt, enjoy your brunch, my man. Have a good Sunday. Have a good week.
Thanks, Matt.
And with that, everybody have a good Sunday. Have a good week. Dad and I so appreciate you guys spending your Sunday morning with us. Could have been anywhere in the world. Could have been anywhere on YouTube, but you chose to be with us. That means a lot to us. Don't ever think it doesn't. We love you guys. We appreciate your support. And until next time, you have a good one. All right.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Eat my short.
Go fuck yourself. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Flush that turd down the drain. Avenge me! Avenge me!
Thank you. Thank you.